Simon Says, with the crypto cobras right now, and we're gonna be going over Bitcoin, the dip that keeps on dipping, right? This isn't too out of the ordinary. We see that we've broken pretty much both channels. Right? We were in two rising channels, held support at the wider one for a little bit, using kind of a steeper trend line, and we were able to get that break. Notice how, and this is coming after, this is coming off a week where we've captured a lot of profits on this short. Maybe, even holding more margin on our short, as would have been, easier, as this was just, a slow bleed. You see, there's like a little 2 to 3 day period where we're still going down. We just, had some support, but, daily's broken into oversold. And yeah, this is a situation where you don't want to be long in, right? If we go down to like a lower time frame, let's just clean this up a little bit. Should be good. Let's go down to like a 4-hour time frame. So you see the hourly is oversold. Look at what happens when, the 4-hour, when we come into some consolidation, we get consolidation under, oversold, and pretty much we just hit a little double top on the RSI. Notice how the RSI has a slight divergence. This high is higher than this kind of white candle. This white candle got bought up, had a lot of pressure, couldn't get back oversold, and then the dip is just commencing. We'd have to see how RSI looks on the lower time frames to really get a gauge of how this was moving, but very bearish activity, just staying oversold on a high time frame. You see, once we stay oversold, the next move down, not being able to get out of oversold has more power or volume. But yeah, so pretty quick stream. I mean, this dip has been from the weekend, really. Even through the weekend, we have been dipping and kind of just like long squeezing. This is we're next to like MicroStrategy's buy price. We're next to Tesla's buy price. We haven't seen these times. We haven't seen these prices, in a long time in the market. And this is just, this is a time where you protect your capital. A lot of, like, probably 90% of traders have been wrecked, just like from this, volume breaking this channel. A lot of times when you're new to the markets, when you see like had like maybe this week of consolidation here, we finally flip that trend line, and the volume continues. So let's go to like a weekly chart, see how this is looking on a weekly basis. We're gonna flip through some charts, but let's just keep this one for now. So if we're looking at the bottom of these wick area, we're still looking for some support. Like, this isn't by any means, the technical bottom, as we're still like in this daily candle, we're now taking out the lowest low, the lowest daily low close since July 12th, the end of our bear market. We're pretty much still in a range, been ranging between 64K and, about 30K. We haven't really seen any areas below here. This hasn't been really like a capitulation wick, in my opinion. This has just been like more of just like a slow, kind of like a slow bleed, and like this is like an institutional move, right? They want to induce these prices. there's a lot of traders that, you know, are used to the bounce and used to um, us, you know, breaking out, maybe, you know, ranging and then, you know, bouncing eventually. There was no bounce on this chart, right? This was just, if we're going down, we're going back down to like the 3 hour. You guys see my screen? If anyone's still there.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, cool. So Loopring is one of these altcoins I'm looking at. We can see that alts have been bleeding heavy, very, very heavy against, you know, Bitcoin, just shedding more of its market cap. I'm not sure what's going on with TradingView. They don't want this sauce. But yeah, so you know, Bitcoin is just, you know, crashing TradingView, crashing the markets.
Bitcoin's been crashing a lot of things, huh?
Yeah, track it.
I think it's a brave. I think it's a Brave browser thing, man. You got Chrome or any other browsers you can test out?
I do. Just hope it's working for now. Let's see. All right, so let's put us down to this 5 minute. Let's go to like the hourly. As you know, we keep this concise. There's not a lot of TA we could do on this, right? Look at the hourly. How, you know, we were just resetting for a long time, kind of holding the support at 34,000. We try to get back above the 40 RSI, right? Couldn't really do it. Note that like the midpoint, you know, as we were saying like on Friday stream, before we had the bigger drop, we had this bigger, like this drop right here. Notice how we were staying, you know, below the midpoint 50. We had one, you know, kind of liquidity sweep to the downside with the price action and the RSI staying above oversold. Had a nice little triple top on the RSI, kind of left shoulder the head, staying above oversold, below overbought, and then, you know, the big downside. So notice like when we come down, we go oversold, and we just like kind of slowly build the RSI back up while price action's even trending down. So that's like a elongated divergence. And then we have like this shooting star pattern that kind of plays out. That was really like null or void. Look how it rejects the 40 right on the head. Boom. It's the 40 RSI. Wicks the support at 37.44 as a resistance. And then, you know, we continue down. More consolidation. We had like a sideways zone here through here. Want to like bring this line down. Let's see. Had like a sideways thing going on, and then we just, you know, finally broke out. Notice like when we go back into oversold, even on the hourly, you know, it comes with more power and more volume on the downside. So let's just do some theory, and let's look at some lower time frame divergences, right? So we still have like a little bullish divergence here. Wouldn't call this a butterfly doji, but definitely rejected this 32,300 area. So I'm just looking at the low here and how we haven't been able to break that yet. Notice how the 20 RSI has been getting violated on these on these time frames, and when that happens, it implies that the Bears have a lot more strength. As usually we don't see that. We see the 20 RSI get hit or the 80 when we get the bounce. This is like we're even below the 20, so we're testing it as resistance even here. This is on 30-minute. Still can't see any chart pattern, any structure. Only thing we really kind of see is like hours of like maybe like 2 candles equaling, that hour of like horizontal resistance and support. So this is like a good way to like see levels. You could also extend it like left if you really wanted to. When you have a good trend line like point, all you have to do is like extend it, and it should be you'll connect on like a weekly, or like notice how this one, it's not right on the head, but it has like this weekly close low, like that we kind of like paused that for a second. So let's just run through some of the outside factors of the crypto market for right now. But first, let's just run through all the Bitcoin weekly. So we see this trend line. Let's just use this one. We have the low of this last week. After we held support here, we had a nice correction after we hit the highs up here at 41K. We came down and we hit around 27K. So, that's a big correction. We could probably measure that on the fib on the daily. But also, let's see if we could get, this is on the weekly. Let's go to the daily. The market isn't creating, higher highs or higher lows, or like lower lows and lower highs. There's no real lower highs right here. It's been a complete downtrend. This has been if you wanted to measure the fib, you would still start from this high and come to the bottom here, because this is pretty much, even though it's over 5 days of price action, it still counts to me as like one bullish like impulse. One bearish impulse. And it's just because we are, breaking these major like structural levels. Yeah, this trend line actually got broken in the last hour. As you know, I was monitoring it earlier, but something like this. So yeah, it's not looking good. We still have like horizontal support if you wanted to do something like this. Looking at like the last daily close, last daily low. Right now we're below this kind of double top area. The price is trapped between here and this blue line. Just waiting for breakout. If we get a breakout here, I'd look for a retest of this line as a resistance, and then we could even see more downside. Price is stagnant, but just declining steadily over today. Let me see, what else can we really look at? Let's see some other charts. I think this was actually the line I was monitoring. like getting back above this line is, key for the bulls. We've actually had a little bit of a pump, and if we actually go onto Binance, right? This is Binance's site or whatever, their exchange, their chart. Look at this, scam wick that came up last hour. It's pretty much the only exchange that I've seen it on. But I'm wondering if, you had to take profit set and you had to buy that came in, if you would have got, taken out profit. I wonder if that was real. Nonetheless, it's there on the chart. This is interesting. Nice little falling wedge. With the support being right around 28K, being around the last wicks of this daily range. Notice we didn't get a close below these wicks when we came down here, so that's also key. But staying above this daily close is pretty much gonna be a big marker for today. So this was like the daily candle low. Once we, broke that low yesterday, we had a 4-hour low that we were like kind of holding as support. If we go down to the 4-hour, we see like we had like this area right here where for 4, 8, 12 hours, like the 12-hour candle, not 12-hour candle, but the last 4 hours and these 12 hours that happened that we were holding as support, we actually breached it. And if we looked at where that area was on the chart, let's go back to previous lows in this case. So previous lows or highs, swing highs are where you want to look. So we see this swing low that we actually came and we see how it hit here. And it's the same concept, like we were holding a support. We flipped it and we turned into resistance. Trend in market continues to bleed. Stayed oversold, market continues to bleed. But yeah, these are good times. Good times to DCA. I would say here to 25K Bitcoin is where you really want to be laddering in your long position spot. In your favorite coins that are on, massive discount right now. We still have a little bit of a daily bullish divergence that I'll be monitoring. Daily's fallen really hard these last 5 days, so looking to see if we could have anything of a correction. Anytime Bitcoin wants to, really. Hopefully we can catch this bottom. It's very hard catching knives or catching the tops, but it's part of the game. It's actually very fun and no risk, no reward. So these are the days in the market where it's not ranging, where you get that volume, where you're able to capture profits and make a salary in a week of trading. Oh, I really like this wedge. I really like this. I'm gonna be watching this one, trying to see if there's anything else I should. We're gonna go over the total market cap pretty soon, so this as well, just a bigger daily symmetrical triangle that we were monitoring. The breakout, the fake out, the support test, and then we finally get the downside test after testing the midsection of this triangle quite beautifully. I like this chart. downside pressure on this chart as well. We've just breached below, I guess, this weekly support line. I mean, lots of time left in the weekly. It can just be, a wick on the weekly, but we only have about like 5 hours left in this day. We don't want to daily close this low. We don't want to daily close below this low. So let's pretty much get into the total market cap now. Or first, let's get into ETH to Bitcoin. Notice that ETH is still, been bullish to Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been, ETH has been holding, some of its steam as pretty much the price of ETH has been stable. We're just going sideways. So we're dipping pretty much the same amount as Bitcoin. We're not losing, market cap value or percentage, I should say, or dominance. So going sideways, symmetrical triangle, same thing that we had, right, on Bitcoin's chart. And pretty much all the cryptos, we hit all-time high that second time. And then we had that dip in that retracement. You can see when we broke out of this symmetrical triangle again, we just haven't come below to make lower lows where, ETH would be looking at like a major discount, like some of the alts are looking right now, like ETH is still holding up quite well. If we want to just dive deep real quick, let's go to the daily. Look at that support bounce right off of the support line. Can't make that shit up. So we're monitoring, this fallen wedge, or this rising wedge, I should say. We didn't hit the order block from the top here, but you see those resistance, made a lower high, we fell from the wedge, hit the descending triangle support. And I'm pretty sure even today was when we, tested the downside. And ETH bounced, so ETH has not been, it's been dipping, but it's been dipping just as hard as Bitcoin. Hasn't been dipping more than Bitcoin, right? Market cap wise, it's losing the same amount. This is the dominance. So for altcoins to be strong, and notice how we're testing the lows here, right? So the dominance of Bitcoin still dropped. That means, altcoins like ETH, this is pretty much ETH, that ETH rally is still, sustaining its strength. Like, I'm pretty sure the next chart is going to be ETH, but we can see that even though, the dominance has dropped, we're still, dropping in price as well. So this isn't so much a bullish thing as, if we have a double bottom here, we could create new highs. And this is where if we create new highs here, ETH will beat Bitcoin, where Bitcoin could be like 28K and then ETH will be maybe 1.5K. So you'll see a bigger drop if in ETH if we're able to break highs on this chart. Inversely, if this is if we have a left shoulder here and it's the right shoulder and we're able to break down here or break these lows, you can see alts pick up some dominance, but not really too likely right now. I'd like to see Bitcoin lead the charge here, not really too much alts. And there we have, total market cap fell off the cliff. We had, some support here. Notice that the January lows, the market cap is still not even, near this area yet. We're still kind of above the 1.4 area, 1.4 trillion area. Holding that would be big. And notice when 600 day, when the total market cap hit the 600 day, we had that pause, right? That brief moment where we weren't dipping so hard after that initial 8% daily loss. Then we test the 600 day, we flip the 600 day. Now we're having, exceeding volume. Took a little minute to break the zone. We finally did. Even more volume because, this is like a descending triangle outlook. descending triangle, retest held. This is still bullish, right? Because like the price action, this kind of looks like, this is pretty much how the crypto market looks. Like this was Bitcoin's high, this was its low, but this is the total market cap. Remember, so remember when we came up here on this pump, we seen alts. This is where alts were able to take Bitcoin's dominance. Bitcoin didn't have um, as big as a rally that second time as ETH did. ETH was hitting all-time highs first, prior to Bitcoin hitting, breaking that 60K barrier. So really like leading the charge in that case. Now we have ETH, as you see, like when ETH broke its all-time high at 4.1, it went up to pretty much 4.8. That was, ahead of Bitcoin. Here more market cap. Notice how like we're breaking the low of, we're just breaking the low now of, when Bitcoin came down to 30, I think 34K the first time, and this was, when we hit when Bitcoin hit 48K. So now the dip is coming harder and it's coming actually stronger, right? As Bitcoin is testing these lows, these price action lows. It's in this wick area. ETH is still up here, but can quickly fall, right? Can quickly fall. If Bitcoin continues to do what it's doing. Notice the 50 RSI holding as resistance. Here the 60 RSI, and then double top on the daily. It's actually a divergence. You could have been holding that one to the bank. So these are like, today we've been going over more of like swing outlooks. Not too much consolidation on price action, so nothing to really trade. This is, more if you're just in the mix, there's no range. You're at the casino. It's up or down, like black or red. So we see ETH testing, still inside its wick area from this consolidation. And then we have just some altcoins that are gonna really show bigger picture. Loop ring, clearing some lows, right? These are, prices even, Bybit's never seen before in its exchange. I don't know if it, started from below here, it probably did, but let's just see some of this alt pressure. Notice how, some of the alts that weren't performing as good, as Bitcoin has been below its 200-day for forever, and, was one of the first ones to start bleeding with Bitcoin. This is more correlated to Bitcoin's chart. Notice how we're going for this low already, the lowest low that we hit during that July bear cycle. And then we have, one of these lower caps. Did have some hype, had a lot of hype, had a nice bull run, so he broke, all-time highs here. And when you break all-time highs, it's not, this is probably like out pumping Bitcoin by a lot. And then we have the retracement. We're not at the lows, but we're still, testing this 618 kind of level, I'd say, or even 786. 786, and in no man's land. This is the same correlation, kind of like pumped one day, faked out, came back down. So some altcoins are going to be, correlated, and a lot of them are correlated to Bitcoin, but that would be about it for right now, guys. I think I exceeded my time by a bit, but definitely good to watch this dip come in with you guys. Remember to subscribe to our socials. The Twitter gets out, the content, pretty much the fastest besides our Discord. But yeah, if we just go to the Discord, we've been, cleaning up a lot, and this is your hub where you're going to be able to learn a lot. You see here we have our OTC membership. So if you're not OTC, you're able to purchase that and get into some pre-sales when the markets get right. Right now, it's kind of pointless to invest in to lower caps. But if you guys want to start with Cobra education guide, start here. What is Bitcoin? Altcoins, liquidity pools, more cryptos. If you want to learn more candlesticks and fundamentals, which really started, these markets. We have moving average, relative divergences, candlesticks. So start from, candlesticks down if you're not on a broker. But yeah, go through this, and this is going to be, a very good guide to help you guys out on your journey. And yeah, so we'll be ending the technicals now and diving into some education in the crypto markets. Thank you, Cobras.
Appreciate it, man. That was awesome, Simon. Um, and
That might
another,
have been the smoothest outro I've ever seen in my life. I'm not gonna lie, that was sick.
yeah,
That was cool, man.
awesome, man.
Appreciate you.
So we're back to like